Shadow Charizard is absolutely ridiculous. This was one of the strongest teams I've played all season, and I want to showcase on how to play it and why Charizard is one of the best closer in the current meta. And PvP says something towards this as well. Shadow Charizard is a lethal powerhouse in the right hands. As a glass cannon, it depends on shields, alignment, and excellent energy management to unleash its potential. Talonflame is more established alternative, but extremes of Charizard's performance chart should strike fear both ways. So this Pokemon is going to be super good if you have it in the right hands, and I think I had it in the right hands here because this team here towards is also amazing. We have the Stunfisk, we have the Corviknight as a Stay Soap, and we're going to have in the back here, of course, the Shadow Charizard in order to destroy opponents and a game. And as, of course, PvP said there as well, it depends really on the performance chart of Charizard, and it's best as a closer. Trust me, it's best as a closer. It can function as a lead as well, applying pressure immediately, but as a closer, if you get into the right positions, this Pokemon can completely destroy teams. And we saw a few examples in the beginning there, and trust me, those examples are going to be here again as well. This is actually the first battle with this Charizard here right now as well. We know that this is going to be a Bone Club, which is generally resisted, even though it does a lot of damage because of how Charizard is currently. But what we're going to have here now is we have the option to go for a Blast Burn, and we're going to have the option to go for a Blast Burn. And all of a sudden, the opponent's two Pokemon are both going to go down, and with that, we are going to be able to find the last one, the Gastrodon, which is going to go down to the Corviknight. You will see here in today's video, by the way, I think in 3 out of the 10 battles here, that Corviknight does not run the correct moveset. This is due to me having 2 Corviknights at 1500 CP, and one has Sky Attack, one is Air Cutter, and I just went for the wrong one in the beginning. Then I realized after one game basically, because it's quite obvious if it's a Sky Attack or not. And then I decided to change it, and I had to restart my phone again. And then like Pokemon Go just changed my Corviknight again because it just didn't save the team change from before for whatever reason. So there's going to be in total 3 battles of Corviknight with the wrong charge move on it, which honestly, funnily enough, did not matter. Like, honestly, Corviknight was really strong even with the other and wrong charge move there. Here, in this battle, we have absolutely 0 chance. We're getting absolutely hardwalled from the beginning until the end. And this is not something that we're going to be able to win. And with that, we are just going to try our best here still to do as much damage as possible. But I'm well aware at this point already that this is not going to be a win. And so I'm going to forfeit now, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we will face Altaria. And funnily enough, I actually like this matchup the most, as with the recent update, Altaria lost a little bit more of fast move pressure, as now Dragon Breath does a little bit less damage. The benefit of that is that this matchup here actually, while of course Dragon Breath is generating more energy and getting to more charge moves, this matchup here specifically is going to be a little bit better now for the Stunfisk, as you're going to take less damage from the fast move, and the charge move it gets to is Flamethrower, which is, while yes, neutral, it's not the most threatening one here whatsoever. And as you can see, there's going to be yet another discharge coming in, which is going to allow us to get them super, super low. And we're going to see here as well, Charizard coming in against the opponent's Scissor. And now I can use a shield, and I can say goodbye to this Pokemon, because we are going to be able to just fully farm them down with now a ton of energy on our Charizard. You can already imagine what's going to be happening next. That's a Blastoise. That's going to be actually the worst kind of Pokemon I could imagine here right now. This is kind of really bad for us. As not only they're going to have the resistance against fire here, they are also going to have a double super effective fast move. But that being said, still we are going to be able to do so much damage with the Charizard here against that Blastoise, getting them super low. They stop out into their own Altaria. I can stop out into my Corviknight, and that's going to be a good game. As we can now move on to the next opponent, where we will face that Ferret in the lead. Ferret is quite alright, because both of our Pokemon in the back are going to be able to at least take the Trailblaze, and Corviknight specifically is going to be able to take both of the charge moves of the Ferret. But what we see here as well is that there's going to be a Florges coming in, but what we also see is this is one of the battles where I have the wrong moveset. I don't have the correct moveset on my Pokemon, I have Sky Attack, but honestly, Sky Attack is quite alright. Sky Attack is doing way more damage here than Air Cutter would have done. Of course, you don't have the boost chance, you don't have the cheap move of it, but it is definitely quite solid, as you will see as well. We're gonna get the shield, that's cool. But maybe we can even get another shield, because what we see here as well is we should be able to survive this hit. And with that, this Shielding Water is not going to be enough to knock us out, and we have a charge move stored. I kept the Sky Attack for later, because maybe, just maybe, this could help us. Let's see. In comes Ferret. Ferret is alright. Ferret is going to have Trailblaze though. I have to let the first move go, because third has a ton of energy and third can boost. And if you shield one, then it should be Warstay the one after the boost. Of course, now they put us into swift range, so they don't need as much energy either to knock us. But what we can do is we can shield up. It's going to be another Trailblaze, which is actually better for us, and we can snipe them. We can snipe them with a Sky Attack, and Sky Attack does a ton of damage, and this forces the opponent to, yeah, think about if they want to use their shield or not. They decide against it, and they go into their Moltres, and I know Charizard wins this. In equal shields, Charizard wins this, I think, in every shield scenario, just because of the blast burn damage, and you just outspeed them, and with that we are going to be able to win yet another game. As we're going to move on to the next opponent, where we have the Empoleon, and that's okay, but they swap out into the Spidops, catching the move. Great play, as we can now go into the Charizard, but what I see as well is that I have to go for a Blast Burn when actually knocking them out, because otherwise they're not going to go down here. And so I go for the Blast Burn, and we see the shield coming up. Because they have a Rock Tomb, of course. That makes sense. They want to get my shield as well. Rock Tomb comes through, and I'm just going to overfarm again. I'm just going to go up to yet another Blast Burn. At this point, maybe the Air Cutter would have been enough damage, but I didn't want to risk it. And so I go for a Blast Burn, and we get yet another shield. I can shield again. In comes another Rock Tomb, and at this point, I barely do any fast move damage, but they swap out into the Empoleon. I cannot stop it in time. You saw me there trying to swap out. It just didn't work out, and I have to go now into my Stunfisk. I have to go for the Mud Bomb, and it's a CMP tie as well. That is so unfortunate. I lost my energy in the beginning. I take so much damage here. I am going to go for the Undercharge here for a bit for the Mud Bomb, which is actually nearly perfect. I got 3 fast moves in here, which is really cool to have, to be fair. But we have to see what's coming in next, and what is coming in next is going to be a Florges. I'm alright with that. That's not too bad. And you see me here going for 1 extra fast move before swapping. You see that I'm now at +1 fast moves there. This was a purposeful choice there, because what I wanted to do here is I wanted to be faster to a Florges if Florges feels pressure to go straight for the charge move. So basically now I am going to be 1 fast move ahead of the Florges if they go energy dry out of this matchup, which is quite likely as they now swap out into the Spidops. It's okay, we can knock them out here, I'm okay with that. I still should be able to survive another hit from them, and me surviving another hit here from them kinda will force them to go straight for the next charge move, because otherwise they would go down to an Air Cutter. I actually go for the safe play as well. I just swap out of here, clear my debuffs, and I am able now to go for the Mud Bomb and still knock them out anyway, because they were forced to throw, and this was a 4-on-1, and that was quite a lot of fun. Let's see how the next set is gonna go. You see, by the way, again, every single battle here today. And also, if you enjoyed the intro there, feel free to leave a like as well. If you enjoyed the video generally, feel free to leave a like. This is a very good team. It is a very much fantastic team. But also let me know down below, what else do you want to see? I would love to see your ideas on what you want to see for the Open Great League, what Pokemon, what team ideas you would have there. I'm curious. I'm always curious for that. I'm always curious for kind of requests like that. So feel free to do so. What do you see here though? This is going to be the Charizard now against us. This is going to be a bit awkward because they have access to a Blast Burn, and they're going to knock us out here with a 1 that is going to be quite difficult for us to deal with. As you can see here now as well, there's going to be the Blast Burn coming through again. We're going to be able to invest a shield and go for another charge move against them in order to try and knock them out. I undercharge, but at this point I know already there's not a lot that I can do. They have too much energy on their Credillion. That means I am not in a position, sadly, currently, where I have any control over this battle anymore. I'm forced to go for the bait, and I hope that I would still get another move. But as we will see here as well, they decide to use a shield, but they also know that they had a charge move stalled already. And with that, I have no chance here. I am not going to win this battle. There's nothing I can do. I could have tried to go for 2 air cuts and then knock them out with my Stunfisk, but I'm not too sure on what they would have had in the back anyway, so good game to the opponent as we enter Zilus. Zilus is a very interesting Pokemon. Now being able to get faster to those Dark Pulses, it's a bit more awkward here. They were able to get to the Dark Pulse super fast here generally with a recent change to Dragon Breath. I think it's like 2 more fast moves over. I think it's like 7 of my fast moves basically for them to get to a Dragon Breath, which is really quick for Dragon Breath, to Dark Pulse of course, which is actually really quick to very hard to move here, to be fair. But we will see a Corviknight against Corviknight now. I have the right moveset here again. It's going to be the correct one that we want to go for. And as you guys see here, we are going to now be able to just go ahead and go for the no shield, I guess. Payback is coming through. And we try our best to reach another payback. And we can reach one in time, which is huge because now I might be able to get the KO or get them super low here. Low enough that I can go for the full form with Stunfisk. Maybe not. But I can now let the move go. And it's time for Charizard to hopefully have some play here, but they actually swap back into their zilus, which is not really ideal. Let's see on how we can deal with it. We're going to be able to get the KO here. In comes the scissor, and that's perfect. That's exactly what I want to see. I have my Charizard. I am going to be able to farm them down, and they forfeited straight away after seeing the Charizard. So no more crazy KOs here, but let's see on if this next battle is going to be better. There's going to be the Amogus, and to be fair, sure, rather went into my Corviknight. Corviknight would have been a better Pokemon for us, as Corviknight is just going to be more safe and more neutral. That's mainly it. Here I can go for the Air Cutter. The Air Cutter is going to get no shielded, and I try my best to get some extra energy, but I'm going to be forced to go for yet another Air Cutter. Well, now I lost a shield. Quite low. I have the attack boost, which is cool, and I'm going to be able to force the shield back from the opponent, which I guess I would have not been able to do with the Corviknight, but I would have had still 2 shields basically here. At this point, they're still going to be forced to go for another charge move, which is cool. I can use a shield, and I'm going to try to go for my Blast Wind straight away, but they're going to stay in here actually. This would knock them out. They decide to shield, and I'm okay with that. I can go to my Stunfisk. I am close to my charge move, and I know that at this point, I shouldn't be able to reach another charge move against me. And I should be in an okay spot that I can go for the Mud Bomb. They stop out into the Altaria. That is going to be quite problematic, I have to say. I am going to be able to go for another charge move here. And I hope for the best here, but I don't think I have a lot of play. I'm forced to go into my Corviknight. Corviknight will take super effective damage from the opponent's Flamethrower, and as you're gonna see, 2 of them will be enough. So I'm forced to go for the Payback. That's the only way of me still getting to anything here. Payback luckily comes through before the Flamethrower from the opponent, putting them super low, which is nice. They overfarm here though quite a bit. Did I have enough energy on my other Pokemon in order to still get to another move here? I'm not too sure. Opponent comes in, I'm not. And so I feel like this was a winnable battle if I just played a bit differently, but that's fair. Good game to the opponent. Well done, well played, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we will face the Shadow Scissor. This is going to be actually a very good matchup for this team generally. This team hardwalled Shadow Scissor. We're going to have 3 Pokemon that can deal with this Pokemon. And here we're going to get the shield early, which means that we can utilize the extra bulk of our Corviknight trying to catch a Trailblaze. They didn't go for that, but they're going to go for the Azumarill. And we have Sky Attack again here on this Pokemon. Yeah, basically I had to restart the game in the middle of the second set once because of lag, and I just wanted to decide to just go ahead and try to play some more battles, but they stopped my Corviknight again to the wrong one, and I was like, why do they do this? This is a common bug, by the way, that's a known issue for like ages, like where teams just don't get saved, and if you restart, they're just gone. Don't know why this has not been addressed yet, but it's, I guess, also just a small thing that barely going to matter in most of the cases, so like it's, I guess, fair. As you can see here, though, the Sky Attack is going to be able to knock out the Azumarill, and comes the Scissor, and we have an answer for the Scissor. Hello, Charizard. We're going to have the Cordilli coming in, and trust me, while it's a Rock-type Pokemon, it's part Grass as well, and with that, Blast Burn is going to do quite significant damage against them. As we will see now as well, the shield coming up from us, this is going to be that Rock Tomb coming in, but even with a debuff, trust me, the Shadow Charizard will not disappoint you. This damage is going to be insane. As we will see, we're going to put them super low, and we can catch a move here. We can catch the move onto the Stunfisk. It's going to be the Rock Tomb now. Being a resisted hit, that's perfect. We're going to even able to overfarm here as well. We can go for the Mud Bomb to knock them out. And with that, we're going to have one or less answer to that Charizard. We only have the Scissor left, and I have energy still on my Pokemon, which means I win this battle. Guaranteed, there is nothing they can do. And so yeah, hopefully that was kinda a nice showcase already. But we have one more battle to go. And so, in the final battle, as it's now going to be my tradition, I'm kind of reflecting towards the team. What are the issues? What is great about this team? So, how did it go generally? Generally, I would say this team was absolutely fantastic. There are going to be teams, of course, as well. There are going to be I do like the way I made the videos a little bit more now as well. I think it's a bit more better for use as well, for me to kind of give you like direct feedback at the end, a bit more structured. I think it's kind of cool. Let me know down below again on how you like this with the intro and whatever. But I do think this team is amazing. I do think this team has barely a weakness. I think this is one of the strongest teams that you can run currently. The only weakness for this team, and this is something that you kind of should be aware of, and there are fixes towards it, are Mud Boys, especially in the lead. You are going to be able to deal with the Mud Boys with a Corviknight. You're going to be able to deal with the Mud Boys energy up with your Charizard. But if you face them in the lead, especially a Gastron lead, a Quagsire lead, you're going to struggle. This is the biggest weakness of this team. But in order to fix that, you could go for something like the Drifblim, but that doesn't mean that you not open up another issue for you. For example, like Ice-type Pokemon then. So, I do think this is a fantastic team. If you don't have a Charizard, go for Talonflame. If you don't have the Talonflame, go for Drifblim. There are different kind of options of playing this team. But just the combination of Stunfisk and the Corviknight currently in this current meta seems ridiculous. Like, it honestly seems like such an overpowered strategy. It's able to bait out something like a Bastion, for example, for you as well, which is fantastic. And honestly, after even playing here the wrong moveset on the Corviknight, I'm actually thinking that Skytech isn't too bad on it. It honestly has some potential. But yeah, let me know down below what do you think about this team. Have you given it a try? I know it's like a combination of Pokemon that have been quite popular, and I think I maybe even showcased the exact team already before on this channel. I'm not too sure about it, but it's an amazing team. And so yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great time playing the GO Battle League. And again, if you want to support the channel for free, just subscribe, leave a like. That's all you can do for free here, which helps me out a ton. Would really appreciate it. As, yeah, I hope that GO Battle League is going to grow in the future. I do think we have a lot of potential there for this game still as well, which now, most likely with Scopely, is going to have a bit more fruition there, but we see it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.